Hello all my dear friends, once again I welcome you back to my YouTube channel Modern English with Novella. Friends, if you are new to this channel, please like, share and subscribe my YouTube channel to get more videos. Hello dear friends, in this video we are going to learn more about the history of novel and the informations about the novel. The 18th century has gifted two new forms to English literatures. Right now, which were the two forms? That is the periodical essay and a novel. The novel caught the spirit of 18th century as it was the age of intellectual, sentimental and realistic play. Today, it is recognized as the most dominant literary genre. Now, when we think about the 18th century, it is a bit helpful and favorable for the novel, in which it is known as intellectual and sentimental, right? And that is why this 18th century is important for the literary genre called novel. Let's have a look on the meaning of novel. What do you mean by novel? A novel is a long narrative fiction which describes human experience in a prose form. Now, what is novel? It's a long narrative fiction which describes human experiences. Now, it is a long narrations in which human experiences, human thoughts and human actions are given. English word novel is derived from the Italian novella, which means new. Right now, the word novel means new, right? Something new. A novel narrates a story describing it with more details of time, place, nature, people and their minds. Now, what does novel narrates? It narrates the details of time, place, nature, people and their minds. Now, it is a kind of story in which all those things are included, right? Now, there is a time, there is a place, there is a nature, people, character, everything is there in the novel, right? And the most important thing is that the gestures of people also included in the novel, right? While narrating any scenes, while narrating any story, all those things are included in the novel. So novel makes life easier to understand than in a drama and poetry. Now that's why novel is important for understanding the life, right? Because it is quite a bit easier rather than poetry and drama, right? The language which is used in the novel is very easier than the drama and poetry, and that's why novel as a literary genre which helps the people, common people, to understand the life of people in the society. History of novel. The novel has a history of about 2000 years. Among the early precursors of novel may top the list. Though novel in the modern era makes use of a literary prose, the earlier traits of genre can be found in Virgil's Eclogues or Malory's Mort the Author or Geoffrey Chaucer's The Canterbury Tales. So when we think about the history of novel, so it has almost about 2000 years history. And if we think about the traits of literary genre, so which we can found in the Virgil's Eclogues or the Geoffrey Chaucer's The Canterbury Tales. Murasaki Shikibu's Tale of Genji has been the world's first novel. When we think about the first novel, so definitely we can take the name of Murasaki Shikibu's Tale of Genji. The European novel is often said to begin with Don Quixote by Spanish writer Miguel de Cervantes. In the 18th century, the appearance of newspapers and magazines attracted a large number of readers from the middle class. Now, when we think about the 18th century, it was also known as the Industrial Revolution era, in which so many inventions took place, right? So the appearance of newspaper and magazines so attracted a large number of readers from middle class. They had less interest in romances and tragedies, so middle class people were not interested in the tragedies and romances, but they were quite a bit eager and enthusiastic to read the newspaper and magazines. And so they admire only reading newspaper and magazines. The 18th century new literature was characterized by the spirit of realism and the denial of romantic features like enthusiasm, passions, and imaginations. Thus, an ideal foreground was prepared by all these factors. Also, one of the most important features of the 18th century is the spirit of realism. So whatever was real, whatever was true, that was accepted by the people, the reader, and they entirely neglected, opposed the romantic features like enthusiasm, passion, and imagination. Novel originated as a literary form in the England after the 1740. Increase in trade and commerce along with the Industrial Revolution had given rise to the middle class. Now, Industrial Revolution has given the rise to the middle class. Why? Because there was a much increase in trade and commerce, and that's how the middle class increased. The realistic picture of everyday life and problems of common people depicted in the novels appealed to the newly educated class and was regarded by them as respectable reading material. Now, whatever happened in real life, right, and the problems of common people and everything, so whatever was happened in the society, right, the problems of common people and everything, so that was depicted in the novel, and that appealed to the upper class and middle class people, and they thought that it as the respectable reading material. Thus, novel as a form was designed for both to voice the aspirations of middle class and lower classes and meet their longings. Right, so novel is a kind of literary genre which is used to give the voice to the problems of the people, common people and lower class people, and the possible solutions and possible things which could be done to remove their worries and problems. So that could be regarded as one of the most important form to give the voice to their problems. Novel. The spread of machines could provide a time to the educated middle class for reading and discussions about the books. And as it is the 18th century wherein many inventions took place, it is also known as the Industrial Revolution era, so in which many machines were innovated and created, so which provided a lot of time to the people, and that's how they could use their spare time to read. The spread of machines could provide a time to the educated middle class for reading and discussions about the books, and that's how middle class people enjoyed reading and discussions, as they could get a lot of time. Thus, novels started encompassing the social, political and cultural happenings and scientific progress. So in this way, the novel started including the different topics like the social topic, social, political, cultural and scientific. So each and every aspects of society and social has been started including in the novel. Let's talk about novels and the novelists. The Pilgrim's Progress by John Bunyan 1678 and Oronoku by Afra Bain 1688 initiated the plenteous and colorful traditions of English novel. Then the first is Daniel Defoe's Robinson Crusoe, Mal Flanders, then Jonathan Swift's Gulliver's Travels, that is a kind of satire. Then Samuel Richardson's Pamela, then Clarissa, that is epistolary. This tradition was enriched by many stalwart, that is strong, novelists like Charles Dickinson, Walter Scott, Nathaniel Hawthorne, Horace Walpole, Thomas Hardy, H.G. Wells, etc. 20th century novelists like E.M. Forster, James Joyce, George Orwell, D.H. Lawrence, William Golding, Anthony Burgess, etc. widened the circumference of the genre by writing political, social, psychological novel. Right. Let's talk about immigrant novelists, that is from the other countries. The emigrant means from the other countries. Salman Rushdie from India, V.S. Naipaul from Trinidad, then Kazuo Ishiguro from Japan. And let's talk about the contribution of women novelists. The first is The Novels of Manners, Evelina by Frances Burney. Then Gothic novels by Anne Radcliffe. A science-based novel, Frankenstein by Mary Shelley, are the landmark novels. Fourth, others are Jane Austen's Bronte sisters, Emily and Charlotte Bronte, wrote The Wuthering Heights and Jane Eyre. Mary Anna Evans, that is George Eliot, wrote psychological novels. Sixth, Virginia Woolf is the pioneer of the stream of consciousness techniques in English novel. Agatha Christie wrote novels based on crime. Then Hercule Poirot and Miss Marple are the detectives created by her. Now these two are the characters, that is important. Other women novelists are Harper Lee, Margaret Atwood, Toni Morrison and Alice Walker. Now all these female novelists also are important. Let's talk about Indian novelists. The first novel in English literature written is Raj Mohan's Wife, written by Bankim Chandra Chattopadhyay. Later it was serialized in the Indian field. If we think about the first novel which is written in English, that was the Raj Mohan's Wife, right? After that, Mulk Raj Anand, R.K. Narayan, Raja Rao were the major trio wrote novels based on nationalistic virtues or social issues. Now when we think about these three writers, they had written a lot on the issues, right? The social issues, the political issues and many more. Especially R.K. Narayan, he has written many novels, especially The Guide is very interesting and important story, right? His stories and his novels runs around and moves around the Malgudi days. Malgudi as a city. The following novelists changed the current of Indian English novel through their work. Now how they have changed the Indian English novel? Let's have a look on the writers. Anita Desai, Nayantara Sehgal, Arun Joshi and Manmohar Margaonkar, Amitav Ghosh, Vikram Seth and Upamanyu Chatterjee. They ameliorated, that is improved, the Indian novel in English by adding new features to it. In recent years, the dazzling performance by Salman Rushdie, Arvind Adiga, Arundhati Roy, Kiran Desai and Kiran Nagarkar, they had given a lot to the Indian novel in English. The word novella originated from the Italian word novella. It is a type of prose fiction and it is a shorter than full-length novel and longer than short stories. It is a well structured by short narrative. It is satiristic or realistic in tone. It usually focuses one incident with one or two main characters. Some novellas are The Heart of Darkness by Joseph Conrad, The Turn of the Screw by Henry James. Third is Death in Venice by Thomas Mann. Fourth one is Seize the Day by Saul Bellow. Fifth one is Pearl by John Steinbeck. Now this is about the novella, right? So which is a full length than short story. So that is what the history of novel. I hope friends you would have understood the history of novel. Dear friend, if you understood my videos, please like, share and subscribe my YouTube channel to get more videos. Thank you so much.